All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, call law, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. I'm gonna make this quick because freaking in the van, this tablet don't charge that efficiently and it's kind of low on battery, but through the spirit, Lord, I could bring this article out and bring out a couple scriptures and be edifying. So this article, I'm gonna dive right into it. Obviously, what time it is. We in the time of war. And a lot of things are unfolding more and more with all these wars. With America, Russia, Ukraine, Amalek, so on and so forth, right? So this article is a thumbnail reads, it says, Russia nuclear war warning issued by NATO ally politician. Now, the title kind of gives it away who that NATO country ally is, but I'm going to read the article. And this is from October 12th, which was this past Saturday. Boom. So it says, Sarah Wagenknecht, a German parliament member whose country is a North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, ally, issued a new warning over the possibility of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war spilling over into a nuclear confrontation. There goes the threat of nuclear war, nuclear confrontation, all that stuff, man. And it's not going to stop. It's going to continue because as days goes on, these tensions are going to boil more and more. Okay? It says Russian officials have regularly floated the possibility that Moscow could strike NATO members in response to the aid and weapons they have provided to Ukraine in the conflict. Because who is Ukraine fighting? They're fighting Russia. So Russia's looking at this, well, if you're supplying the people that's attacking my country, so that means I have beef with your countries as well. And those countries are the NATO countries. Mainly America. I think they said America and Germany are the main ones helping Ukraine. So it says, according to TASS, a Russian state news agency, Wagenknecht, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but whatever, leader of Germany's Sarah Wagenknecht Alliance, Reason and Justice Party, BSW, in an interview with the Funke Media Group warned that if NATO becomes party to the war, it will escalate into a nuclear confrontation because the whole thing of this is Ukraine is trying to become official member of NATO. And you have in the NATO, in one of their treaties, one of their articles, whatever, that whatever country is at war, all the countries must, all those countries must include themselves, and they're brought into the war as well by default. And that's why a lot of these countries don't want the Ukraine to join NATO because they're already in the process of fighting NATO. They're already in the process of fighting Russia. So they know that if Ukraine does become a member of NATO, then they have to jump in this war with Russia. And Putin already said that we're ready to go to war against NATO. And that's why you have all this friction. That's why you have all this tension building up. Because that's Satan's house divided for one, and that's basically going to mess up these countries' economies. Especially these countries don't have actually any personal thing going on, because this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine was a thing of that region. Okay. Okay, so it says if NATO becomes a party to the conflict in Ukraine, it will get to a point where Russia will carry out a strike on military facilities in NATO territory, Wagenknecht said. After that, the conflict will soon escalate into nuclear confrontation because this is the only field where Russia is equal to NATO. And it says, this is why it is so crazy dangerous that we are allowing ourselves to be dragged deeper into the conflict. The least of the flock shall draw them out. That's proof right there. Call law YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Because that's exactly what the scripture talks about, man. Bringing the least of the flock shall draw them out. Ukraine, the small hats in Ukraine, the small hats in Israel. They're causing the whole world to go to war. And now all these other countries that got war and tensions in their regions, they're gathering more and more in that region for that war. Just like the thing with North Korea against South Korea, China against Taiwan. You got the whole shit. You got the niggas wilding over there in Hamland. And that's why the Lord said, well, it's a time and a season. We're in a time and season of what? War. You got the whole thing with Iran and the small hats over there too, with the Hezbollah and Hamas, all of that, man. The Houthis. You have all this going on present day, right now, October 2024. Full, like it's war. It's war, rumors of war is more than ever. I'm gonna read that again. So it says, if NATO becomes a party to the conflict in Ukraine, it will get to a point where Russia will carry out a strike on military facilities in NATO territory. Wagenknecht said after that, the conflict will soon escalate into nuclear confrontation, because this is the only field where Russia is equal to NATO. Because what? It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the next step. And ultimately, it's what? Nobody can stop it, because it's the will of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that scripture right now. Since it's Germany, I think that's verse 20. Hold up, right? Now, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49. I'm going to start at verse 7, but then I'm going to jump down to the point where the verse is in, I believe, verse 20. Yeah, verse 20. So, because, it gets a little, verse 7 sets a tone to who the Lord is addressing, right? So, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 7, and it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? And who is Teman? Israel. Shalom be more. It says, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Because now all these niggas got war in their mind now. All of it's about war. All of the wisdom, all of that. The Lord about to take that away from them, man, and have them destroy each other. That's what's going on right now. And it says Teman. Teman are the Germans. The ones that the scientists, the German scientists that did all the nuclear bombs and all of this technology, man. It advanced out of Germany. And it says, I'm going to continue on. It says, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And the Lord is visiting Esau right now, man. The Lord is visiting these fucking devils, man, because he's about to take them out. But before that, he's going to have them go to war with each other and then destroy each other, man. And they're already doing that. Russia, Ukraine, those are two Edomite countries. And they're at war. They've been at war for almost 3 years now. And now that as time goes on, more countries are being involved in these skirmishes of Esau and the least of the flock. It says, verse 9, it says, if great gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If these by night, they will destroy till they have enough. It says, verse 10 says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because what? His seed, his brethren, hold up. It says now, I've uncovered his secret places, because now everybody knows that those are not the real Israelites, man. Now everybody knows that those are the ones that's calling the shots. Those are the ones that got America in their back pocket. Now everybody knows. Now everybody knows it's the small hats, man. It's your fault. Everybody knows it's the small hats' fault to why the whole world is about to go to war. But it's prophecy. The least of the flock. It says, I'm gonna jump down to verse 12, and it says, for thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, which is what? The nation of Israel, us. And it says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it, man. What? Lamentations, the 4th chapter. The punishment of iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Now, O daughter of Edom, the cup shall pass through unto thee. You about to taste this now. And now that your kingdom is going down, you've seen it go down. America, the small hats, all y'all Edomites is going down. Why? Because why? Y'all all about to go to war. And it says in verse 13, it says, "For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste." And who does that start with first? America, man. Because ultimately Esau is going to be obliterated. And Esau, and once YAHAWASHI come back, Esau is going to lose everything that he has that's like, wealth and all that shit. Starting with you elites, man. Because he said, "What? I made Esau bare." And America damn near bare because what? Everybody's fucking broke. The country's what? Trillions of dollars in debt to the elite Edomites. But the Lord is going to take the rug from all you Edomites, man. From the least to the greatest, man. And that's what the Lord is doing right now with this war, man. Because now you can't stop this war. It's not like, oh, everybody's going to be like, yo, you know what? We bugging. We should stop. No, it's just getting worse. But let me go back to the article. So in Jeremiah 49, matter of fact, that's what I was supposed to read. Jeremiah 49 and 20 now. Verse 49 and 20. Oops. So I'm going to jump down to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20. It says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, that he are taken against Edom, and his purposes that he proposed against the inhabitants of Teman." Now, that person in this article is from Germany. So that's Teman, right? And it says, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them." All you Edomites, man. But it said what? Teman, the Germans. Yeah, because y'all been a little quiet. Y'all was quiet when all this first started. But now all these countries being more vocal because now it's starting to fuck with they shit. Because why? They're a NATO ally. They've been supporting the Ukraine as well. The least of the flock shall draw them out. The Lord is going to make these Amalekites in Israel and the Ukraine make the whole world go to war. Let me go back to the article real quick. Oops. What? So with Jeremiah 49 and 20 just being read, now this article from October 12th, let's read it. Now it says, if NATO, the beast, now it says if NATO becomes a party to the conflict in Ukraine, it will get to a point where Russia will carry out a strike on military facilities in NATO territory. Wagenknecht said after that, the conflict will soon escalate into nuclear confrontation because this is the only field where Russia is equal to NATO. This is why it's so crazy dangerous that we are allowing ourselves to be dragged deeper into the conflict. The least of the flock shall draw them out. You go get into this conflict and it's going to get nuclear. Thus saith the Lord. This is prophecy, man. Those nuclear missiles were built to be used. And the time is coming soon. And it says, continuing on, it says, she continued, the Russians kept sending messages that they don't want to see the U.S. Army near their borders. In particular, many Western politicians pointed out that Ukraine's integration into NATO's military structures will lead to a war. The least of the flock shall draw them out. She said it will soon escalate into a nuclear confrontation. So when it happens, if Ukraine becomes a part of NATO, they're already going to war with Russia. So once they officially become a part of NATO, that means that these other NATO countries know they're going to have to get involved. And I believe that he put in, I believe the Zelensky character, he put in I think the Ukraine put in a membership, whatever application, whatever how they do it, for NATO in like 2022. So now we're in 2024, damn near the end of 2024. They've been going to war for almost 3 years. Now, if they become part of NATO, if Russia talking about if they use long-range missiles from the Western countries in the U.S., they're going to consider that a test to where now we can go nuclear because we gave y'all the warning. Remember the Lord said, not the Lord, well, it's the Lord ultimately, but the Lord had Putin say what? Don't give them nuclear, don't you give them long-range missiles and they attack with us because long-range missiles would attack deep into Russian territory. So they're saying that if y'all give them those weapons, those weapons. If y'all giving those weapons, that we have the right to go we might have a nuclear response. That's what Russia said. And that's what this article is about. The Russian threat, the nuclear threat from Russia. So yeah, so it says, she continued, the Russians kept sending messages that they don't want to see the U.S. Army near their borders. In particular, many Western politicians pointed out that Ukraine's integration into NATO's military structure will lead to a war. It says, Wagenknecht argued that Kiev was being rapidly dragged into the U.S. zone of military influence and is why Russia started to take certain measures before it's too late. So they know what time it is with Russia. They know Russia ain't no slouches, man. They know, Russia's been giving the warning saying like, yo, do not give them shit, yo. And you got America, you got NATO, they still support them. They still giving them shit. It says, meanwhile, a new military aid package worth roughly $1.5 billion, 1.4 billion euros, was recently announced by German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, as Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky emphasized the importance of maintaining aid level to Ukraine next year. So you talk about even to next year, which is in a couple months anyway, because it's already been, it's going to be almost 3 years. Once February of 2025 comes, that's going to be 3 years since Russia and Ukraine been going to war. And it says, Scholz highlighted that Germany is Ukraine's biggest military supporter in Europe and the second largest overall after the U.S. He assures Zelensky that it will stay that way. Yeah, for now. But that's what the least of the flock draw them out. Teaming. See how the scriptures tie in with reality? Teaming, Germany. Germany talking about we continue to support them. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Yeah, this is all, this is World War III, baby. These are all the premises of the World War III about to start. Because once someone goes nuclear, whoever the Lord has go nuclear first, there's no turning back. And that's what these nations know. They know that once someone goes nuclear, there's no turning back. And it says, Scholz emphasized Germany's commitment to air defense as part of the new aid package, which includes air defense systems, G-PAR anti-aircraft guns, tanks, armored vehicles, combat drones, artillery, ammunition, and radar, with support from Belgium, Denmark, and Norway. It says Newsweek has reached out to Germany's foreign minister, NATO, and Russia's Ministry of Defense via email for comment. And it says Wagenknecht's ominous warnings echo those made by other prominent political figures about the conflict. So that means other important people, political figures, what have you, have made these same worries about what's going on. They have the same, you know what I'm saying? They have the same thought process as this person, Wagenknecht. And it says, in the lead up to his departure from his 7 years of service, which ended on Thursday, Russian ambassador to the U.S. and Anatoly Antonov previously spoke with Newsweek about the troubled state of relations between Moscow and Washington. And it says, Antonov argued that Washington is continuing a dangerous discussion about the possibility of giving Ukrainians a permission to strike deep into Russian territory with Western long-range missiles. With Western long-range missiles. That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. This is exactly what Putin said, that if these weapons in talk right now, these said weapons, long-range Western weapons, Putin said if y'all use those, we might respond nuclear. And it says Ukraine has long pressed the U.S. and the United Kingdom, but the beast and the whore, United Kingdom, the beast, all of that. All of the head members of the beast, the Esau's kingdom. So it says Ukraine has long pressed the U.S. and the United Kingdom to drop the restriction on long-range weapons being used for strikes inside Russia over concerns that this would escalate the war. So basically, he's saying, fuck it, man, give us the weapons. We don't care about escalating the war. And yo, call Lord YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. You know what? Give Ukraine NATO membership, man, so we can get this shit going. Because, with that article, I forget what the part of NATO treaty it is, but it's, like I said, it said that if a NATO country is under war, getting attacked, that all the other countries in NATO must get involved. All right? And it says Kiev says it needs long-range weapons such as ATACMs, Army Tactical Missile System, to target air bases used by Russia's warplanes that launch glide bombs against Ukraine, often from deep inside Russian territory. British supplied Storm Shadow missiles with a range of around 150 miles have been used against Russian targets in occupied Ukrainian territory only. So they're giving them a limit. So it says, such talk threatened to defy the latest ultimatum issued by Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has repeatedly warned against external intervention since first ordering a special military operation into Ukraine in February 2022. But now look where we at now, almost 3 years later. Yeah, all these NATO countries more involved. America sent them billions of dollars in military aid, so on and so forth. You got the whole thing going on with them small hats in Israel and the Palestinians and Hezbollah and Iran. All this stuff happening. See how it's just intensifying more and more. And it says it's intensifying by each day. And it says they refuse to take into account the clear warnings of the president of the Russian Federation that a green light for such attacks would mean NATO's direct involvement in a conflict. Antonov said, with all the following conclusions on our part. In late September, Putin announced that his country would be reassessing its deterrence policy and warned that provocations by Ukraine and its allies could cross Moscow's red line on the use of nuclear weapons. That's the talk going on right now. Wars and rumors of wars. And remember, the Lord has them what? Give them warnings. These are warnings. Putin's been giving warnings for months. And yet these NATO countries, America has been giving Ukrainian assistance to go against them. That's why Putin said what? We are ready to go to war. We know we might have to go to war with NATO. I'm going to read that again. So it says, in late September, which was last month, in late September, Putin announced that his country would be reassessing its deterrence policy and warned that provocations by Ukraine and its allies could cross Moscow's red line on the use of nuclear weapons. There you have it. There you go. All that talk, more and more nuclear talk by the day, man. You see that? Just the end of last month. And we already midway through October. What is it, October 15th? Midway through October, because what? October 31st is what, in a couple weeks? And it says that these updated guidelines, the Russian leader said, would consider aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear state, aka America and these NATO countries, as their joint attack on the Russian Federation. So basically gonna be like, yo, y'all all against us, man. And that was the end of that article. So yeah, so it says Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20 said, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom. So who was Edom? The white race, so-called white men. So them Russians, them Germans, them Ukrainians, the fucking small hats. And not all of them, but on a broad scale, it's those people known as Caucasians. Okay? And it said, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom. So this is the Heavenly Father against Edom. This is YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI against Edom. So we're dealing with the almighty power, the one true living God. The people in power right now, the Lord said he hates. And he said now is the time to bring them down. Okay? And he says, and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, Germany. And it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Because what he said in a couple verses up, he said, what? The calamities that he's going to bring upon Esau, Edom. It's coming. It's here. And it's only going to get worse by the day. It's only going to get more intense. It's only going to be more bloodshed. It's going to be more bombs flying. And eventually it's going to be what? Nuclear bomb shot. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Nuclear warheads. Nuclear bombs. All these things. You got America just sent troops over there to Israel to help them small hats. Send missile defense. So hold up. So now, hold up. Speaking of which, might as well. So this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, which is what they're doing right now. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what's happening right now. All the nations are getting ready for war. All the mighty men are coming up, preparing for the battle. But what has been going on prior to that? The prophets have been proclaiming ye this among the Gentiles throughout the four corners of the earth, especially here in America, from the apostles of GMS on down. The prophets preaching in the names of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, telling you that our God is the one mustering the host of this battle that's going on presently on the earth. No other God is doing, no other God is in control. There is no other God. If there is another, where he at? Allah's been proven to be a God. He's not a God. Buddha's been proven to not be a God. All these Gentiles are in this war. So is your God telling you that? Did your God tell you, prophesy beforehand? Our God did. Our God mentions y'all. Remember, the Lord only has one chosen nation, but he said he created everyone. All the nations that he created. Everything that moves and breathes, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI created. And he controls. And it says, verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm stronger. Like Iran now become probably a nuclear powerhouse. They linking up with Russia, linking up with China. All these countries linking up against America and these small hats, man. And then soon enough, these NATO countries are going to come against America and these small hats, man. Because what? They saying, what? You bringing us into a war that we really want no parts of. But they know they have to help because what? They're Edomites. And they all have a, what's that word? They all have a, damn, what's that called? Like a conglomerate. They all have they have a unitized, they have a thing going on. They have a federation. They have a whole league. They have an organization, and it's called NATO. So they're all involved. So they all know that they have to get involved, which is why they're probably like dancing around the fire with making NATO. Ukraine a member of NATO. It says, verse 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And it says, verse 12, and it says, and let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's what's coming. That's what's being prepared while all these countries are getting ready for war. They thinking they just going to all go to war and somehow one of them come out the victor. And then they have control of the earth. But no. In the midst of your fighting, YAHAWASHI going to come back and put all you devils and all you heathen into captivity. All you devils going to be in the servitude once YAHAWASHI comes back. He's going to destroy America. He's going to take these elites from their power seat. Going to destroy these idols. And then we're going to have righteousness on the earth forever after that. Righteous judgments, righteous rule. I should might as well get that. Now from my fucking tablet start to. Where should I start? Second Ezra chapter 13, and I'm gonna start at verse 2, and it says, I'm gonna start verse 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number, from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Now, ultimately, I talk about Yahawashi, but who's the ones coming against him? The other nations, the armies. Remember the Lord said, "What his indignation shall be upon these nations' armies." Isaiah, that 34th chapter. Indignation, he's gonna get all their armies. So what? So continue on. It says, verse 6, it says, "But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." And it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight." So when Yahawashi comes back, remember, these nations are going to be fighting amongst each other. Nuclear bombs going back and forth, long-range missiles, nuclear warheads blowing up, boom, 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 smoke then thick as hell, smoke like a mushroom cloud going up. This how the prophecies describe it. This is how it's going to be. And all these nations are gathering themselves together right now for that great day, for the war, and they don't even know it. But here it is, the Lord has his men telling the world, yo, this is about to happen, even amongst while it's happening. That means this, it means this. And after this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And it says, verse 9, it says, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." Yo, just imagine that. A man-like figure, but it's not a man, obviously, because he said, well, I shall not meet thee as a man. So imagine a being coming down. Are you seeing all these great nations, these great armies? Russia, America, China, North Korea, Iran, all these countries, all these nations in their war bag, the highest of their war bag, the best they have to offer. You see Yahawashi come down. They shoot all of that at him. And he don't even lift up nothing. He don't lift up, but just fire comes out of him. Our God is a consuming fire, right? And it says, "But only I saw," okay, yeah, verse 11, it says, "And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon a multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." You get afraid just hearing that. Just think about being in that. Just think about witnessing that. And that's a vision. But this is going to happen in real time. This is going to happen in real life. He saw a future prophecy. It said the nation, he said he's going to go to war with these armies, man. Matter of fact, hold on, let me get that real quick. I'm going to go to the NLT. So, when you go into Isaiah, the 34th chapter, and start from the top, the caption for the King James Version says, "God's wrath against nations." And the NLT, it says, "A message for the nations." Well, message of what? His wrath, right? So if you go to the King James, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it." And you go to the NLT, it says, "Come here and listen, O nations of the earth. Let the world and everything in it hear my words." Verse 2, and I'm reading King James and the NLT, it says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter." And you go to the second verse in the NLT, it says, "For the Lord is enraged against the nations. His fury is against all their armies. He will completely destroy them, dooming them to the slaughter." It kind of sounds like we're going to do in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, right? So you go back to that. So seeing that he said with all that he graved the mountain and all that, so it says, When you jump down to verse 15, it says, show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. And it says, for as conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that should be left in the field, left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. Hold up, did he say? Okay, when you go down, jump down to verse 25 of 2nd Esdras chapter 13, because I talk about, when he saw the man would not do what he do. It says, this is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom Yahawah the highest have kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. He shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm, and he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. See, this is going to happen on earth. And it says, and he shall come to, verse 31, it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And this is the future prophecy. It said one realm against another, which means what? How the Lord is going to destroy these armies. Because remember, he's coming from the heavens to destroy these armies on earth, the nations on the earth. And it says in verse 32, and here where it gets good. 2nd Esdras chapter 13, verse 32, and it says, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. When we see Yahawashi destroy these armies, destroy Esau, give us the power. Lord, when I be part of the elect, Lord, when the brothers I push would be part of the elect, Lord, when all the brothers that sincerity and in truth be a part of the elect, because we hope that we are prisoners of hope, which is why we do these things. We do these shows. We go out there in the highways and byways, right? It could be ostracized. We get scoffed at. It's for the greater good. It's for the glory of Yahawashi. It's for the glory of Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahawashi, the glory of the one true living God. And when Yahawashi comes back to the earth, him giving us the power, making all these motherfuckers that didn't believe feel stupid. That's what's going to happen. Everybody that didn't believe going to feel stupid. And so they should be ashamed. Starting with our people, they're going to be ashamed when they see Yahawashi. Sometimes it just get you mad. It's like, yo, man, a shame unto you, man. But that's what's about to happen, man. So, with that, Lord, when this is edifying, I'm going to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM Yahawashi, BAHASHAM Kakadash, double honors to the positive Israel, aka the positive great millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth sincerity. Shalom.